She just got divorced. Her husband left her for a younger woman. She is 36. I'm 38. Her husband is 43 and left her for a 23-year-old Swedish girl at his work. She has 3 kids with him, one 8 and 2 young ones 3 and 4. She contacted me on Facebook, saying she couldn't breathe when she saw my face again. She said I was so handsome and that she aged and all this stuff, saw me on the alumni page of our college when I decided to join the group. I decided to answer her back, pretending to be friendly, but the pain came back. I forgot about this woman, and it took me 3 years to get over her and move on. I still remember her making a pact with some girls in our class, saying she would never date me. That's what one of the girls told me she said. The other girls told her I was weak, not good enough for her, she deserves a strong man, all these weird things that made no sense. It was like they were jealous and planting seeds in her head. I still remember telling her, you shouldn't tell those girls everything about our life. If you even say something like you were sad or hurt, they will try to plant seeds. She cried and said she didn't know how to trust. Well, she trusted them over me and ended up cheating, making out with 10 people, including mutual friends and 2 of the girls who I thought were our close friends. This was around mid-2000s, she claimed she was drunk. She tried to work things out with me, but the trust was broken. I tried but couldn't do it, so I just left. It was hard missing her and holding her and her smile. I only got over her when a friend of ours ran into me at the bookstore, and we talked about old times. I asked about her, and she told me she moved on from me real quick. She never asked about me, she never missed me. She started dating several guys, including one of our friends. All my friends were basically her friends as well. What's sad is I was friends with them first, and then she came along, and I decided these were not good people to be around. They all hid what she did away from me and all told her negative things about me. She ended up getting married, this is what she told me in her post. And said she saw me during COVID. She still works and said she was so grateful for being able to have a high-paying job during this time. And I told her I was laid off and a bum, to try to get her to lose interest more. She said her husband cheated on her, told her one day that he met another woman and it shook her. She couldn't stop crying. He left her in 2019, and she tried to fight for their marriage, but he said he got his mistress pregnant, and they finalized the divorce quickly. She said she wants full custody, but he gets to have them from time to time. He said that was the least he could do for the pain he caused. She told me this was the man her sister and girlfriends all picked for her. They basically approved him. He wasn't a good-looking guy, not charming, but he had a head on his shoulders and took care of his mom and family. She told me this was the guy she chose over me, and when she said that, she started crying. She asked me about my life and if I was married or had kids. I said no. So she messages me showing pics of us together, and like everything was like old times, and I'm getting enraged. Like how the hell does this woman think everything is good? Does she not know how she ended our relationship? She took their side over me, she left me for dead. She never cared to check up on me, and now she only contacts me when she lost her looks, her husband left her, and used her. I remained calm, and she asked to hear my voice. She said, can I call you? I don't know, I figured okay, and the moment I say hello, she starts crying. She said I can't believe it, my stomach is empty, I miss your voice, I can't breathe, and it's real tears like flowing. And I said, are you okay? Don't cry. She tells me she couldn't stop thinking about me, how I used to smile at her, how I was so spontaneous and would make her laugh and charming. And she said she remembered the cologne I wore, everything. I'm on the phone containing myself because I'm mixed feelings here. I'm happy and sad, happy to hear from the woman I loved many moons ago, and sad because she stabbed me in the back and never gave a crap about me. We talk, and she asked to meet up just one time. I hang up the phone, she texts me and says I'm sorry. I text back and say, sorry for what? She can't answer, she said I can see you in person, it's easier for me to explain. I said it's best we not meet in person with this COVID and all. She said no, they let you go out to eat outside, we can catch a bite. I need to see you, or I'll crumble, I can't. She told me she listened to the wrong advice and should have listened to me, but she struggled. She told me she cried for days, struggling on what to do. She wanted to be with me, but they told her I was a bum and will never be anything and that I was a pretty boy and pretty boys always cheat. So she cheated on me to get me to not like her anymore. She claims that's why she made out with multiple people at a party because she knew I wouldn't stop loving her. And she said her friends and family didn't like me, and she couldn't choose me over them. Then me being the caring person, I didn't want to hear that. She already been through so much, and her husband left her, she has nobody, etc. So I said please don't bring that up, it's hurting me too. I don't want to get angry, it's the past. Let's move forward, focus on your kids, and maybe some single father will date you, and you guys can have a blended family or something. I asked my aunts and female cousins for advice, and they told me she is a devil, she is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Don't give her the time of day. This woman never loved you. A woman who loves you will die for you, she will never want to see you hurt. You are a good man, you care too much, and she knows that. Why are you feeling sorry for her? My aunt then tells me, ask yourself this, when you were hurting, was she there for you? If you were in her shoes, would she do the same for you? I said no, she wouldn't. Just recently her girlfriends messaged me and said if I really loved her, I would give her a second chance. When I read that, I was pissed off. Loved her second chance. What the F about me? She broke me, left me for dead, and now they trying to put a guilt trip on me like what the F? I just messaged back and said I didn't mean to hurt her, but she left me for that guy. How would you feel? She said I understand, but just cause she has 3 kids doesn't mean she can't love you. She did love you before, forgive her and move on. You ain't young yourself either. So this friend who I knew as well as talking to me like this, she was one of the girlfriends who advised her that I was no good. She hooked her up with that guy she married. So I'm saying to myself, if this girl really did love me, why is she still talking to this no good woman and having her message me? Then 2 days later her father messages me saying my daughter is hurting here, and she would just like some closure. Could you at least give her that? I'm shocked again. Closure? Why do I need to give her what she wants when I wanted closure? She never gave me anything. She left me for dead. I can't believe it. This is the man who hated me guts and loved that guy. She married the plain guy who cheated. Now he has the nerve to force me to get back with his daughter. This is crazy stuff, and I'm glad my aunts and cousins told me what the real truth is, and her father trying to get me to take her back after she was used up and tossed to the curb with 3 kids, after this man even told her that her husband was a much better man than me. I'm getting angry here. How should I handle this situation? Please help. Update 1. I struggled, but I had to meet her. I already made a mistake by answering her messages on Facebook and then letting her call my phone, and I met up with her. I tried my best not to be angry or show anger. When I met her, she was already waiting outside in front of the restaurant. She saw me walking up there. I had my mask in my hand and didn't notice her at first until she saw me. I was walking, and I saw someone crying with her hands covering her face. It was her, and she ran up to me and hugged me. I didn't hug her back. My hands were to my side. She was making like a big scene, and people were there. An older woman walked by us and said, "Are you guys married? Is he coming back from the service?" I said, "No, just an old college friend." The old woman said, "Well, she is hell as emotional for just an old friend. You guys are cute together." I was already thinking this was a bad idea. She was making a scene, getting all emotional, and people looking at us like we were in love or she was in love, and they were going, "Kiss her." I kept my composure, and we ordered and waited for our food outside. She looked older, a little bit more weight. She told me, "I miss you," and that her heart is pounding. We started talking. She showed me photos of her daughters, and I said, they look just like their father, and she was really happy. But for me, I wasn't. She was acting like everything was all good, and I just played along. We ate and finished our food, and I wanted to talk to her privately. So I said, "Let's walk toward that park area and sit on a bench and talk." I said, "So what is the reason you wanted to meet me?" She said straight up that she misses me, and she told me to please listen to her and not get mad. She isn't good at explaining. She told me she messed up. She told me she understands if I don't want anything to do with her, but she said if I hadn't been through the stuff I did, if I hadn't been with the guys I did and married the guy I did, and him leave me, I would never know you were the one. I then snapped on her. I couldn't take this. I first talked calmly and told her, "So let me see if I'm getting this straight. So you cheat on me and remain friends with the girls who talked crap about me, and you French kissed at the party and the friends who you French kissed and made out with. But you left me to die. You left me, the one who loved you the most, the one who only confided in you, the one who had nobody. You left me for dead. You did that." And I asked her, "Do you still talk to those friends?" She starts crying and said, "Yes. So you abandoned me, and now you want me to be part of your life again after your husband cheats on you, leaves you for a younger woman." She goes, "I understand," while crying. I said to her, "Do you know how offensive and shameless this is that you would have the nerve to suggest what you suggested? Like I'm winning some type of prize? What the F do I get that's special? What do you have to offer me that these younger women don't? You already cheated on me, you already left me for dead, you lied, you betrayed me, you still talk to those people, and you chose them over me and listened to them over me, and you had kids with another man. So that shows to me that you are using me, that you don't care about me. You think I'm some type of sucker who will just forgive you." And she starts crying hard and is having a panic attack, saying, "I don't know how to say it, I don't, and I'm sorry. I beat myself every day for what I did to you, I do." I then yell, "Crap, you are full of it. You moved on from me, they told me." And she goes, "Who told you?" I said, "It doesn't matter. You dated guys I hated, guys we knew right after you left me. I felt guilty, thinking it was all my fault, and you lie even now you lie. You never asked about me, they showed a video of us together, and you didn't even shed a tear 3 years after you left me. I'm not doing this to hurt you because I know how you are. You will go talk to your sisters, to your girlfriends after this because you don't know how to think on your own 2 feet, and they will say the same crap they always did that I'm no good, and you deserve better." I told her I loved you, I wanted you to have my babies. If you had married me, I'd still be with you today. She said, "I know." Her sister calls her up, she is babysitting for her and said she has to go to work soon, so we cut our meeting short. I walk her to her car, and she then tries to hug me again, and I say no, and she fights with me, saying no, and I just let her hug me, and she starts smelling my neck and tells me how she misses my scent and my cologne, etc. Shortly after I get home before bed, she sends me a text message saying, "I will not stop fighting for you. You asked me what do you get that's special, nothing, you are right. I gave myself to others, but I never felt what I feel with you, and I fought it out and listened to others' advice, and I chose against you, and I paid dearly and suffered for it," she said. "You deserve to have a fresh start with a younger woman, you deserve that. All I can do is try and prove to you, and I won't stop fighting for you. I hope you forgive me, but if you don't, I also understand." That was the last message she sent me, and I didn't reply. Update 2, so I stopped talking to her after meeting up. She would send me Facebook messages but then stopped. Then, before Christmas, she sends me a message, a text message, and then a voicemail on Facebook asking me what I will be doing for Christmas or New Year's Eve. She sent me some quote on forgiveness again and learning and some story of some person who didn't mature until later and that everyone learns. Some mature faster than others, basically hinting that the story is about her, that she didn't realize she hurt someone until she lost everything and now feels the pain of that person she hurts and didn't realize that person is someone she should have been with. Anyway, I didn't reply to her. After Christmas, her friend messages me on Facebook and said I was a pathetic excuse for a man. She said I was a coward and didn't deserve her, and that I was weak for not moving on and forgiving her. She also said a man should never do what I did and hurt a woman's feelings, that I was showing my true colors and mean-spirited. She then said if I really loved her, I would have given her a second chance and said all that stuff I said about loving her years ago was all fake then, because now that she is single and not as good looking, it shows I was shallow and only loved her for her looks. She really ripped on me. I decided to message her friend back and told her, "Well, what do I get that's so special?" She said, "What do you mean?" And I said she cheated on me, left me, basically abandoned me and never thought about me and had kids with another man that you helped approve, and hooked her up with and told her I was no good years ago. Her friend didn't bother answering and just sent me the talk to the hand emoji and said, "You know what, this convo is over, you loser, it's 2021, women deserve better, bye bye." She couldn't answer when I told her you hooked her up with that husband who cheated on her. Her friends are toxic. I do still feel bad for her, she was naive and indecisive, and it's sad when girls can't think on their own like my ex. They have controlling women who do stuff like this as friends. I shut her up with a comment about her hooking her up and approving her ex-husband who ended up cheating and telling her I was no good years ago. This friend is a piece of crud, no remorse. She can't feel guilt or refuses to feel guilty or bad for her advising my ex not to be with me, but then hooking her up with a piece of crud who married her and then cheated and left her hanging. So instead, she attacks me, calls me less of a man. I haven't seen this girl in 15 years, so what the F? It's my fault. Talk about trying to deflect or take away any blame from herself. Edit, block the friend too. She manages to circumvent the blockade, leave her on read. The crazy thing is I don't reply to my ex. Oh yeah, I forgot the part when her friend told me, "How dare you?" This will be the first New Year's Eve she spent by herself. I mean, what the F kinda entitlement mentality is that? No, there is a pandemic, and they stopped all mass gatherings. Trying to put a guilt trip on me or something. I hope some people are reading this and learn from my mistakes here and learn from my story. It's extreme, but always avoid females with controlling, manipulative, nosy friends like this. She pretty much is the same friend who told her I was no good and she deserves better. Then is the same friend who hooked her up with the husband who ends up cheating on her and leaving. I feel she attacked me on purpose to report back to my ex that she told me off to save face for being the advisor who told her to dump me and then hooked her up with a guy she was so sure was better than me. She is trying to find a way to avoid any responsibility for her advice and being wrong. I think she got jealous because she saw several girls know inviting me over for the holidays, and I ignored her message and invitation but responded to their invites and just said, "I'll see what's up, but text me back on my phone." I noticed these women never change, toxicity even up to adulthood. She likely cried to her girlfriend, and then she attacked me as if she wanted me to be the bad guy, because this girlfriend is the same one who told her I was no good, and then years later hooked her up with the guy she married who cheated on her. So this girlfriend is trying to play the hero again to save face, a true manipulator who doesn't like to feel guilt. I wonder if she is a sociopath or psychopath? Wait, this crazy friend hooked up with your ex's husband. Were they still married when this happened? Was this after? She is still friends with someone who cheated with her husband? No, her crazy friend hooked her up, meaning she is the one who hooked my ex-girlfriend up with her no-good ex-husband. She is also the friend who in college told me I was no good because I was good looking and weak because, as she claimed, I played football and would likely cheat on her. And what's strange is I barely even spoke to this friend, and she was always rude to me in person, yet she was saying all these things about me that were wrong. When I met my ex, she was monkey branching. I didn't know it at the time, but she would tell me her boyfriend was a crap and cold to her, made him out to be an idiot, and she had me hating him. Then when I was ready, she jumped to me, and then after that, she told all her friends and family I was being mean. She basically did what she did to her ex to me. I ran into her ex-boyfriend, and he was the nicest guy ever. He also had no clue she was saying all these things about him to other people and said it was hard to believe. I said no, and I logged into my phone and showed him an email she sent me from before, and it said he was a drunk loser who had no time for her and was a crap. He was shocked, and I was shocked too because he said that he knew of me, but she told him I was only a friend from school. I'll admit the only reason I don't block her is that she is watching me and hurting inside. She sees younger girls I know messaging me, she saw photos of my ex-girlfriends, and I know it's triggering her. I haven't replied or responded once. When I met her in person, she was no longer beautiful, the glowing young girl I knew. She kept saying how handsome I was and how she felt ugly around me and said, "Wow, you are so handsome." She wasn't getting the looks she used to and attention. She was like a weakened dog who was desperate for food or something. But I guess it was karma, and I was gentle with her and never yelled at her. I haven't responded to a single text or voicemail. She likely cried hard when I responded to my former coworker who is gorgeous when she told me, "Hey, what's up, cutie? Haven't heard from you in ages, old man." She is 27, and she calls me an old man, but she said she is moving back to California and wants to meet up with me. I think when I was responding, she read them and got jealous or hurt and did the same thing she always did, cry to her sisters or friends. I feel bad for her. She is indecisive. I'm a good person and have no hatred or malice. Other guys would have done some revenge hate segs and crushed her bad. Not me, because I moved on, and only the painful memories remain. I remember in college if we disagreed on something and I was upset, she would run and cry and call her sister or friends, and they would tell her what she wanted to hear, like it's not her fault. She cannot handle guilt or being wrong. Also, she struggled with her decision. I remember her telling me that her sister told her to give me an ultimatum and checklist. The crazy thing is, when we were dating, she told me, while crying, that her friends said I was weak and would likely cheat on her because I, according to them, didn't like how I shook a girl's hand and because I was a pretty boy and was on the football team. So she was struggling with her decision. She was indecisive and can't make decisions on her own. Also, her friends knew she got cheated on in high school, and it hurt her, so they likely used that to manipulate her. All her friends are not good looking. She was the pretty girl, and they all have ugly boyfriends or are single. Even her ex-husband was not charismatic or good looking. And I'm not being shallow. This is just what a female friend of mine just told me, that toxic women are shallow, and if they cannot have the bigger better deal, they get jealous of their friends who have a charming or sexy man. She said these are frenemies. What's funny is they told her I was a pretty boy and will likely cheat, yet the homely husband is the one who cheated. Strange how their insecurity showed, judging me for my looks, claiming because I modeled and played football, I was going to end up cheating. She surrounded herself with yes women. These women make her feel good and always kiss her crap, and tell her she is never wrong when she does something, so she enjoys that. Also, I remember one of her girlfriends told her, "You gotta sample different penis before settling down." She told me her friend told her this. They also started crying when my friend told them she was so in love with me and can't stop thinking about me. Her fat friend, who was one of the worst frenemies, started crying, saying, "But you won't spend any more time with us." Her sister also told her to provide an ultimatum or checklist to me. Her father also was in the military and said a man should do this and that and would get mad if a guy didn't open the door for a woman. So she started judging me, saying, "Why didn't I hold her hand when walking in the mall?" But the man her father, family, friends approved of is the man who ended up cheating on her, while I was loyal, but they judged me, saying I was just a pretty boy who would eventually cheat.